Each year, the big picnic on the Lafayette High School lawn means only one thing. Marching season has officially begun. It's a time to welcome the new freshmen and their families, but it's also a time to renew old friendships with the more familiar faces. The Lafayette Band is indeed one big family. The teamwork developed by the directors, students, and parents can best be described with two words: Championship Band. But this year, it was going to be one of Lafayette's most challenging marching seasons. First of all, there were a lot of kids wearing red, white, and blue beanies at band camp. Underneath those beanies were freshmen who had never marched before. That meant it was going to take a little longer to learn the show. Then there was the weather. A stifling heat wave hit central Kentucky during band camp, and that slowed everything down too.
It's been really hot out here, and there's not been a lot of people pass out, but you get really thirsty really quick, and you just want to go home and lay down. But there's just something that pushes you, makes you want to go farther, and that's what Lafayette Band's kind of about. It's just, you know, even though it's summertime and it's really hot out here, there's just something behind you that makes you want to go farther.
Another challenge was the show itself. In keeping with Lafayette's high standards, it was difficult and demanding.
The biggest challenge for this band is to learn to play this music. It's very technical, it's very expressive, and it's just going to take every student practicing a lot.
The title of the show was Treasures of the Tsars. It was designed to trace the emotions of the 20th century music of the Russian composer Dmitri Shostakovich.
The drill is really nice, and I like it a lot, and I think most people are going to enjoy it. It's going to be a really good show.
This year, the Lafayette Band would be entering a new set of competitions sponsored by the Bands of America. But Lafayette would not be going back to the Contest of Champions in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, a contest the band had won each of the previous 5 years.
Well, at first, you realize that you're not going to get the fourth patch, and it kind of hurts for a little while, but you get over that when you realize, you know, we watch videos of the bands that are at Bands of America, and they're incredible bands, and we've done all we can in this area, and we've, you know, accomplished all the things that Mr. Moore and that we'd like to accomplish here. So I guess it's time to go somewhere else and do bigger and better things.
The Bands of America contests have bands that are coming in from Texas and really just all over the country. So hopefully it'll be a real educational experience for us to get to hear, see, and compete with other great bands.
After a hot day of band camp, the kids really looked forward to some cooler activities in the evening. At the end of band camp, the Lafayette Band performed for a very special audience, their families and friends. Lafayette's first competition was the Louisville Classic Band Contest at Male High School. There's always a lot of anxiety and anticipation at the first contest, but this year there was a bumper crop of butterflies because the large freshman class had never marched in a contest before.
I'm trying not to be nervous, but it's like, it's kind of like I just feel like I got to get out there and do my best. You know, I can't stop for anything. I'm going to keep going no matter what.
Nevertheless, the mood of the band was upbeat and confident. Each section of the band began warming up separately. Lafayette's thorough and efficient warm-up routine was designed to prepare each student both physically and mentally.
You had some good examples of some bands out there.
Lafayette's color guard was ready to do its part using some new colorful props. What are those things?
These are jewels.
How do they work?
Well, you just pull them out and throw jewels in the crown.
Over at the stadium, a sea of red, white, and blue flags flooded the stands. Scores of parents and fans had driven over from Lexington to see their favorite high school band. In addition to winning first place in Class 4A, Lafayette also won awards for Best Music, Best Visual, Best Overall Effect, Best Drum Major, Best Color Guard, Best Percussion, and
The grand champion, Lexington Lafayette.
Despite all the awards, the kids weren't completely satisfied with the performance.
Well, it was okay, but we still need a lot of work.
I'm really, really proud of the color guard, and I'm really proud of what they did, even though there was a little faults and sort of accidents and mess-ups, but that's with every contest, and we just need to work on it and get better, and that's all.
And work on it they did. The third song of the show showed off Lafayette's clarinets. It's not often clarinets are featured like this in a marching band, and it was a real shot in the arm for the entire section.
Yeah, it's very exciting. It's really different. Usually we don't get to have the fun stuff to do, so it's our turn this year.
What do you think about it?
It's really neat because it sounds really good in the show, but it's not too terribly difficult except that it's so fast, but it plays pretty well on the clarinet, so it's pretty neat.
And you got to make sure those stools don't collapse, right?
Yeah. A couple
We've had
people
that happen
already.
Only a couple of incidents.
Yeah.
I like sitting on the stools, and I think it's really neat getting the feature of the show this year. I'm really excited about it.
And what do you think about it?
I think it's a lot easier to play when you're sitting down, but it's a lot harder to be able to fake.
The 2 weeks between contests gave Lafayette the chance to fine-tune and finish its show.
We made a couple of drill changes in the third song so they had a better chance of hanging together musically. And then, of course, we taught the entire closer, so we'd have a full show.
So finally, after spending nearly 8 weeks learning the show, the Lafayette Band ran through it non-stop, opener to closer. The first complete run-through was definitely cause for celebration. In addition to all the rehearsals and contests, the Lafayette Band also played at the home football games. A football game would seem like the last place to look into the future of a band. But this is the future of the Lafayette Band. Eager 8th graders invited to sit with the high schoolers to see what being in band is all about. Lafayette's second competition was the Bands of America Regional Contest at the University of Cincinnati. The Bands of America contests would be a new experience for Lafayette in several ways. First of all, the competitions draw quite a few championship caliber bands. It was going to be tougher for Lafayette to win its class or a grand championship trophy. Bands of America also has its own unique set of rules and a scoring system different from what Lafayette was used to. For example, Bands of America has just 3 classes based on school enrollment, not the size of the band itself. That meant Lafayette would be competing in Class 3A. In the prelims, the kids finished second in their class and won the award for Outstanding General Effect. Lafayette also qualified for the finals, and that evening they took the field determined to have a better performance. Facing stiff competition, Lafayette finished 4th overall and tied for the Outstanding Music Award. The band left Cincinnati with a better idea of how the Bands of America way of judging worked.
The biggest change as a result of the judging was that the students realized that there were individuals on the field evaluating their music and their marching, and they were going to be right in front of the flute section, for instance, and they really had to know their music.
2 weeks later, the Lafayette Band competed in the Danville Admiral Showcase of Bands. This was more familiar territory. In fact, Lafayette had been named grand champion of this contest 8 previous times. Lafayette won overall awards for Best Music and Best Overall Effect. But a tie with Harrison County for Best Visual made the Grand Championship announcement a little more suspenseful.
And the winner and Grand Champion of the 22nd Band Contest by the Danville Marching Admirals, trophy donated by Danville Board of Education and presented by Mr. Rowland. And for the 9th time, it's the Lafayette High School Band.
It's about as tall as you are, isn't it?
Just about.
Director Steve Moore told the band he was pleased with the improvements on the sections they had worked on, but he reminded them that a lot of work still had to be done.
Mr. Grand Champion! Lafayette! This man!
2 weeks later, the Lafayette Band was back on the Bands of America circuit, this time the Atlanta Regional. It was a cold and wet departure day, and since it was going to be a rather long trip, everyone had their arms full.
Do you have enough stuff for this trip?
Well, so isn't mine.
Oh yeah, right. That's what everyone says.
Thank you.
Don't get wet now.
I'm getting wet. I bet mine is.
Now, life on the road can be tough. It can get downright boring, and that's why you need things to do like listening to music.
What's the best thing to listen to?
R&B.
Of course, you gotta have your favorite pillow and plenty of snacks to eat. Perhaps you'd like to get your hair done. Whatever it takes to pass the time as you head down the old interstate. Late in the afternoon, Lafayette stopped over in Cleveland, Tennessee to rehearse at Bradley Central High School. It's always tough to rehearse on an unfamiliar practice field, especially on the road. But this practice was extremely important. Tomorrow was contest day. Later that evening, the buses pulled into the motel in Atlanta. On a trip like this, the kids like to have a lot of fun. And with Halloween just around the corner, it was pretty easy to pick a theme for decorating the rooms.
Oh, come on, come on.
I was thinking maybe Fred.
Yeah.
But my grandmother made this for me, kind of like a good luck mascot type thing for the contest. Happy Halloween from Atlanta!
I know it's Halloween, but isn't that going a little too far right there?
Not at all.
It's cool. It's really cool.
What's this about a room check in 15 minutes?
Well, they have to be in their rooms.
Why don't you give another hour or so?
Give them another hour. It's supposed to be in bed at 10:45.
Oh, come on, give another hour.
No. Gotta get up at 5.
Yeah, we need another hour.
Yep.
We've got things to do.
Oh my God.
Yes. Listen, I tried to get you guys another hour, but no dice. Sorry. Okay, now this is where you guys keep your pop.
Yeah, this is our soda and drinkage. See, we got like stuff to drink.
What are you guys gonna do about taking a shower?
I don't know, we got the sink.
We're gonna be pretty cold, I guess.
We got the sink.
We got the sink though.
Okay, what's the deal with the sign?
It's America's favorite burger and we're America's favorite band.
A Lafayette color guard flag used in 1978.
That's it right there?
Yeah, this is it.
That's a lie.
I don't know why we're gonna need this many.
What are you guys building?
A bat.
A bat. A big bat.
An 8-foot long bat.
10 foot, actually.
10 foot. Oh boy.
It's a
his
big
wingspan.
bat.
Here's his wings.
Okay, now, you gotta look crooked.
Yes.
The Lafayette Band was up bright and early the next morning. By 7:30, the kids were in full uniform practicing at one of Atlanta's high school stadiums. It was an excellent place to rehearse, complete with AstroTurf.
Now look at that two-step diagonal. Isn't that pretty? Now let's make it perfect. Mark, time. time, hut, and.
The high stands gave Mr. Moore a great vantage point to see and hear the run-through of the show. At 9:30, the band was back on the buses, heading for the Georgia Dome in downtown Atlanta. In keeping with the Lafayette tradition for major competitions, it was a silent bus ride. Soon, the Georgia Dome came into view. This would be a first for the Lafayette band. Never before had they performed at a contest indoors.
There will be 3 sets of hash marks on the field. The high school hashes, the 28-step hashes, are yellow. They're yellow tape, just like it was in Cincinnati. Let's get a nice snappy mark time. Number 7. Benton, hut. Bent, horns up. It's about concentration. Mark time, hut. And single point concentration.
Lafayette went through its complete warm-up routine and then headed inside the Georgia Dome for the preliminary performance. The Georgia Dome is an awesome sight to behold, but it takes a while to get used to the sound of a marching band, especially if you're playing in one. The sound really reverberates. Some of the louder percussion notes echo on for several seconds. But the kids came through with flying colors.
What was it like in there?
It was awesome. The feeling was there. That we'd worked so hard to get this good, and it felt right. And then the Rifles had a dropless show, which was awesome because we've been working for that all season, and it finally happened.
The Dome is a very unusual place to play in because all the music bounces off the walls and just really mixes in, and it's really hard to listen to, but it is a really great place to play in.
Did you like the Dome?
It was different, but I think I like outdoors better.
All right. Lafayette, I thought that was a heck of a great performance in the Dome. It's beautiful. What I can see, you're going to see when we watch the tape today, we're going to see some things we can improve on forms. I think you're capable of doing that because I've seen times when it was nearly perfect. So it just means it's a question of getting used to the facility. All right, this afternoon, of course, we have rest. That would be a good thing. So for those of you who did not sleep last night, now is your time to sleep.
After napping and resting back at the motel, the kids took advantage of a little free time.
Who are you supposed to be?
Teach Martin from Teach and Chong.
Oh, yeah, of course, yeah.
Got
too short? Yeah. Looks good. What do you have there?
Or TV remote.
You think it'll work on this camera?
I don't know.
Try it.
This is called Sugar.
Yeah. Sugar.
This has been a tradition for the past 4 years since I've been in the band. It's made of Mountain Dew and a whole lot of pixie sticks. And this thing's on fire.
It's fantastic too. It's just scary.
First time I had this, had 3 full cups, couldn't swallow after that.
For dinner, the kids helped themselves to platefuls of spaghetti. They needed all the energy they could muster. Their finals performance was just a few hours away. Meanwhile, a room across the hall became a beehive of activity as the guard girls were getting their hair fixed.
How does it feel to have your hair pulled back like this?
Not very comfortable.
After dinner, Mr. Moore talked to the band about the preliminary performance. They had finished second in their class. He pointed out a few tenth-of-a-point penalties assessed because band members had stepped across the boundary lines.
Don't worry about the penalties. It happens. We're learning. Don't worry about it. Just don't do it tonight.
Next, everyone listened to what the judges had to say.
Clarinets handling the backup responsibilities well on the balls of their feet. Larger step size towards the 20. Strong articulated mark time. Watch as we do the turn there at the very end, and that's articulated a little bit better.
Then it was time for some closing comments.
So there's got to be a point in that show of 15 minutes there where you weren't at your maximum concentration in forms and in timing. And we know we can do better than that. We know that because we've done it. So that's the only thing left, is your concentration.
Soon, the buses returned the Lafayette Band back to the Georgia Dome. How stiff was the finals competition? Well, it included one of the best bands from Georgia, the state champs from South Carolina, and the state champs from Tennessee. But the proud state champs from Kentucky were also there. Lafayette finished second, an outstanding achievement considering they were among 29 bands from 12 different states. To celebrate, the band parents threw a pizza party for the kids. It had been a long day, and everyone was physically and emotionally drained. The next day, the Lafayette Band returned to Lexington, where the buses were greeted with a warm welcome home. The next weekend, the Lafayette Band competed at the KMEA State Marching Band Contest at Eastern Kentucky University in Richmond. It was rather cold, and rain clouds were threatening to make it a miserable day. The band took the field for prelims, knowing it had yet to reach its full potential. Hopefully, today would be the day. There was a lot at stake for these kids. The Lafayette Band had won the last 5 Class 4A titles, but it was going to take a truly inspired performance to make it 6 championships in a row. The performance was good by many bands' standards, but not Lafayette's. It certainly wasn't the kind of performance that would secure a state championship. Something was missing.
Everyone was really disappointed about the performance during prelims simply because it was really dead. No one put their all into it, so it just wasn't very exciting.
Back at the high school in Lexington, the kids rested up and took naps. Then everyone met in the band room to watch a tape of the preliminary performance and listen to judges' comments. Director Steve Moore was determined to help his band find the missing link to its best performance. He explained that there would be a new set of judges scoring the finals.
Now that means we got to reach out and get them, get the crowd, and most of all, we have to feel it ourselves. Now from all the years I've been doing band, and it's been a few, my first Murfreesboro was 1967. That I went. I don't think anybody was alive then, were they? I've been doing this a while. I'm telling you, the only way that this whole thing works is for you to put your heart and soul into it. Now, I looked at a picture I have in there in my office. John Slee gave me last year. Those of you might remember him. And
He is literally singing his heart out in the picture. It's funny that one of the best players in the band that's ever come through this band, the picture he gives me, he's singing. And you know why? He's put his heart into it. That's why. I love that picture. And that's what I'm looking for from you guys. Now, do y'all want to get better today or what?
With that, the Lafayette Band went out onto its chilly practice field and had one of its best rehearsals of the year. But the real test would come just a few hours later, under the lights at a jam-packed Roy Kidd Stadium back in Richmond. Lafayette had no doubt executed a great performance, but so had the other Class 4A finalist bands.
In third position, with a score of 92.08, North Harton High School. In second position, with a score of 93.66, Paul Lawrence Dunbar High School of Lexington, Kentucky. In first place, in the 4A category, with a score of 96.23, Lafayette High School of Lexington, Kentucky.
Congratulations.
Together today and made it work this afternoon at rehearsal, and I'm just so proud of everybody. Everybody put their heart and soul into it.
I feel great, but it's also really sad knowing that this is the last time I'll perform in a Kentucky contest.
And I'm a senior, and it's good to go out with a bang. Of course, there's always nationals. Go out with a bigger bang.
We've been working so hard for 3 years to accomplish this, and it's our senior year, and this feels awesome. I feel great. I mean, there's no better feeling than this. We've won state for 4 years.
Tell me what happened between the prelims and the finals.
Well, it's a turning point in the season, really. The band's just found its heart, and they found the passion for performing, and they reached down inside themselves and just came up with a tremendous rehearsal, a lot of enthusiasm, and then brought it out here for a state championship tonight.
Lafayette's last contest was the Bands of America Grand Nationals in Indianapolis. It was cold and snowy as the band boarded the buses at the Adams Mark Hotel.
What do you think about this weather?
I love it.
Good thing you're going inside, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Waters, we are white.
Weather like this would cancel most other contests, but the warm confines of the RCA Dome provided a near-perfect climate for performing and warming up. The Grand Nationals featured 75 of the nation's best high school bands from 19 different states, and they were all performing at the peak of their marching seasons.
I got a great speech for you today. Do it like you did in practice yesterday, okay? That's what we're looking for. It's all in your concentration. That's all it is. Who are you?
Soon the band was heading into the airlock. When the huge doors finally opened to the football field, a large crowd, many wearing red, white, and blue, greeted the Lafayette band. Lafayette's preliminary performance went well, but only 14 of the 75 bands would make the evening finals. Afterward, dedicated band parents braved the cold weather to do a job they had done so many times before: load up all the equipment. Meanwhile, the band traveled over to a cafeteria at Butler University to eat lunch and await the results.
Mr. Moore is on his way back. They had to draw since we made finals.
Mr. Moore entered the room to a loud ovation and began reading the finals order of performance from the first time slot to the coveted 14th time slot. The anticipation grew until the kids realized which position they had drawn.
Center Fields on 11. Lake Park's on 12. Center Grove.
Lafayette would get to perform last. Back at the hotel, the band busily prepared for its finals performance. Each band member had to undergo a full inspection from top to bottom. That meant a lot of primping and polishing. Everything had to look just right.
What's the secret to cleaning these shoes here?
Fingernail polish remover and just scrubbing.
It was an especially emotional time for the seniors as they began to realize it would be their last show in a Lafayette uniform.
And I'm just looking around right now in the room, and I just see all these people, and I'm just going to really miss them next year, and I hope that they can carry on the tradition as good as it is.
Tonight's show we will dedicate to our seniors. Let's give them a clap.
As evening fell upon downtown Indianapolis, so did the temperature. But there were plenty of warm feelings inside the RCA Dome. This was the last performance of the year. After tonight, the 1995 marching season would be just a memory.
Jason passed me this note on the way in from his mom. Courage, the ability to hang in 5 more minutes, 1 more round, 1 more lap, run to the finish, run to win. Love, Mom. About 15 minutes. How about the show of your life? How about that? All right, I have no more words for you. Just give all you can from here. Banton, hut. Real proud of you. Have a good time. Do not be nervous. Enjoy. Live in every moment of it. Soak it all in at the end of the show. It's going to be wonderful. Banton, hut. Rest. Lafayette Band, Progressor.
The dome was packed with people as the pride of the bluegrass took the field. It was a tremendous performance, and the entire crowd gave the Lafayette Band an immediate, unanimous, standing ovation. The kids were simply overwhelmed with a feeling that only a band of this caliber can experience.
Oh man, it was a jumping ovation. It was great. I loved it. I wanted to stay there longer.
That is absolutely the best performance I've ever been in my life.
Oh, it was great. I loved it. It was the best we've ever done. It was just a wonderful performance.
Lafayette's 11th place finish in a national finals competition solidified the band's reputation as one of the best bands in America. But ask any of the dozens of parents and supporters who enthusiastically greeted the kids back at the hotel, and they would tell you that in their hearts, their band was indeed the best. This final contest was especially emotional for the seniors.
It's so great to have so many friends that care about you and care about each other, that you can do something. I mean, there's over 200 or so kids out there that love each other so much that they can work together to have a good band.
As everybody says, I have a lot of strong friends in band, and that's real important, and we are a close-knit family. But also, I think I've learned a lot of good character traits that I can use throughout my life, like discipline, and I've learned how to be a good leader. And so I think that's real important and things that will stick with me for the rest of my life.
Coming in as a freshman, you know, you have no idea. You're just a little freshman that kind of is just there. You don't know what it's about, and you know, you just kind of look at the seniors and say, okay, they kind of like the band, but once you get to be here, once you get to be a senior, that's when you come to realize, hey, you know, this really means something to me, and I mean something to the band, and it's been an incredible experience for, I think, all the seniors especially.